Hi everyone, and welcome to today's webinar about how to turn adversity into triumph. My name is Josie Thomson. I'm a multi-award winning coach. I'm an international speaker. I am a single mum. I'm an author, and I'm also a 2 times cancer survivor. So I think that gives me some track record from which to draw from to present this webinar to you today. I've also had broken bits in my body. I've also had brain aneurysms. I've had pneumonia. I've had all sorts of things that I personally have recovered from. And from all of those adversities, I have actually learned some stuff. And today I have the absolute privilege of passing on some of those tips, some wisdom, and hopefully some strength to you so that you too can navigate yourself through whatever circumstances you're finding yourself in right now. So one thing I will promise you is that there is a better day. If you take charge by taking full responsibility for what's going on for you right now, I know you can do this, just like me. I believe you can. So let's get started. The first thing that I'll share with you is having myself been diagnosed with cancer the first time when I was 24 in 1991. Nothing could have possibly prepared me for that. No one in my family had ever had cancer. You barely heard of the word cancer. And this was the pre-internet days. So you couldn't just get onto Google and get all this information. The first thing I did is I went out and I wanted to learn as much as I could about what is it, how do you get it, why me, how do you treat it, more questions than answers. But the biggest thing that I became acutely aware of was fear. Because it was a highly uncertain context I found myself in, I knew nothing about it. I didn't know what I didn't know. And so all I knew was I could see and feel the energetic response from those people that cared about me, and they were freaking out. And because they were freaking out, I was tuning into that, and it was making me freak out. And I didn't even know why I was freaking out, but it sort of felt like I should be freaking out. So fear, the thing I've learned about fear is you've got to make friends with it. You've got to understand, what does the fear want for you? What is the message underneath it? Because it's only wanting and needing some kind of certainty. It's feeling fearful because it doesn't feel like it's in control. What certainty is it seeking? So the thing about fear is it's a story, it's a narrative, it's a thought. It is not a fact. And that is a really empowering thing to know. Fear is a thought, not a fact. So what you need to do with fear is to understand, first of all, that it is not an end point. Just because you're fearful of what's going on right now doesn't mean it's necessarily what's going to happen. So fear is normal, it's natural, it's human. Sometimes it's the go-to position when the brain gets freaked out and when it's uncertain and feels unsafe. And an unsafe brain is going to always feel that sense of fear, and you can't be happy with an unsafe brain. So the first thing you have to do is attend to the underlying needs that the fear is requiring you to attend to. But the first point I wanted to say is that fear is a thought, not a fact, okay? The second thing that I learned is that when you hear a word like cancer, it's pretty heavy, it's pretty significant, it's pretty serious. But you don't have to be heavy and that weighted down and serious. You can take it seriously, but don't be serious about it. Stay light and stay nimble. Stay curious, right? A curious mind allows you to step into it without any predetermined prognoses or predictions about what will and won't happen. So if you stay curious and you lighten up, you will be more open to information that you could otherwise miss if you're too heavy and narrow focused by the fear, okay? So one of the things that really helped me to stay a bit light with it all was to find reasons to smile. And one of the things that I learned from studying neuroscience and epigenetics is that when we look up and smile, right, the brain feeds into the prefrontal cortex what's called dopamine, and dopamine just shifts our mood a little bit. It lightens the load a little bit. Is it going to solve our problems? Of course it's not, but it is going to shift your mood a little bit to allow you to lighten up just a little bit and have a little bit of a better approach to what's going on, a little bit more open-mindedness to what may be going on while you're feeling a little bit freaked out, okay? The third thing that I really learned is that healthcare starts with self-care. I was a people pleaser. I'd like to think I'm a reformed people pleaser now, but I was never really good at looking after myself. I would always attend to everybody else's needs and make sure everybody else was okay. And if there was anything left in the tank at the end of the day, I might give it to myself, but I'd probably try to give it away because I didn't know really how to nurture and give to myself without feeling some kind of guilt. I'm really pleased to say that I have changed and transformed that relationship with myself, and that I do realise that healthcare starts with self-care. So the one thing that I do every day now is to attend to my simple, uncomplicated wants and needs. That when I do that, it sets me up to have a good day. So what mine looks like is I get up early, I sit quietly for a little while and I meditate or journal, and then I take a little nature walk in the local park with my dogs, and I get to be surrounded by beautiful big gum trees and palm trees, and my favourite big fir tree as well, birch fir I think it is. And I get to feed the ducks and the turtles and the eels in the local pond. And that always makes me feel like a kid. I love it. It's fun. And I get to put my feet in nature as well. So putting my bare feet on the earth really charges my battery as well. Then I come home and I'll make myself a bowl of porridge, which I love porridge in the morning. And I'll make myself a cup of really yummy home brewed chai. And then I'll take the chai outside and I'll sit in the sun with my bare feet on the grass and I'll enjoy my chai. Now, if I do all of that, that takes about an hour and a half in the morning, and I'm usually back at home ready to start my day before 9 o'clock. And if I can get that done of a morning, I know I'm going to have a great day because I've already charged my battery and I'm actually working on a fully charged battery rather than kind of getting up fatigued and not moving my body and not really fueling myself. So part of your health care absolutely depends on your self-care. So think about, write this in your worksheets from today's webinar. Download the worksheets and write down what are my simple, uncomplicated wants and needs that if I attended to them each day would prime me to have a good day in more days. The other thing that I really like is meditation. Now, meditation does not mean going and sitting on a mountain for an hour in some uncomfortable position. Meditation can be quite an active thing. I see my dad when he's fishing, he completely zens his mind and body in this really peaceful, serene environment. I know that when I'm dancing or if I'm playing the drums, I leave the planet in my mind and body, and I lose all sense of time. And that's another form of active meditation. So think about what are those activities that are actually good to you and good for you, that when you're engaged in them, feel so nourishing for you that you lose all sense of time. That could well be your form and ideal meditation. Do that often. The other thing that I learned about cancer is the importance of being in nature and the healing power of the sun. So just for 5 to 10 minutes a day, I allow my skin to get a bit of sunshine and allow myself to be out in nature. There is so much we can learn from nature. And when I I surround myself with my favourite tree down the road. I often watch her, and I watch the birds just come and go, rest on her branches, and she's just still. She doesn't move. She doesn't change with the changing weather or seasonal patterns around her. And she's strong, and she's solid, and she's dependable, and she's a great source of inspiration to me. And I often find myself just leaning with my back on the tree, looking up at her and just feeling her complete support every morning when I go down there. So being in nature, putting your bare foot on the grass, getting a little bit of sunshine each day really does help you feel well. The other thing that I would say is really start paying attention to your nutrition, to water and diet, okay? The quality of the substances that you put into your body will significantly affect you, okay? So for me, I only drink filtered water. I do not have sugar drinks or alcohol. One thing I learnt about cancer is that cancer cells breed in sugar. So one of the first things that I absolutely cut out of my diet was all alcohol and all processed sugars and any of those energy drinks, which are just lethal. The other thing is that I'm predominantly vegetarian. I nourish myself with good food. If you want to feel good, you've got to eat good. That's just as simple as it is. And in yoga, we say good thoughts, good words, good deeds. So think about that. Even the way you nourish yourself with the way you think and the way you talk to yourself. Choose good thoughts, speak good words, and do good deeds. Okay? The other thing, just one more thing on nutrition, is start to pay close attention to how your body feels after you eat or drink something. After you eat or drink, you will notice that your body will either feel energized or it'll feel flat or lethargic or tired. Tune in. Eat and drink those things that help you feel uplifted and well and vital, and limit those things that actually drain your energy and fatigue you. The next thing that I learned was about discernment. Now, what I mean by that is, as I mentioned before, I am a reformed people pleaser. What I didn't realise is that every time I said yes to everyone else, I was saying no to me. And so discernment means choose carefully what you commit to and who you commit to, and start to pay attention to your own sense of energy, because people will either give or take energy from you, and you need to be able to discern environments as well as people and what you commit to. And when you're healing and trying to recover, you really need to only commit to and discern through judgment to those spaces and people that actually support, nourish, uplift and energize you. Anything else needs to be minimized, or remove yourself as quickly as possible from those environments and people. Another lesson that I learned was about crystal balls. They don't exist. If you need help, ask for it. No one can possibly know what you're thinking, how you're feeling, and what you need right now, for sure. No one has lived one day of life in your shoes to know what's going on for you, nor have you in theirs. So if you need help, if you need support, if you need anything, please do yourself and others a favour and ask for what you need. Allow them the gift and joy of giving to you. Just as you feel when you're asked to help someone in need, you feel really great that they asked you for help. So give them and grant others that gift of giving to you. The next thing I would also share is the importance of hugs and physical touch. Physical touch and hugs are very healing, and we all need it, but we need the right kind of physical touch and hugs. There's giving and there's taking. Make sure that any touch or hugs are freely given, not taken, because you need as much energy as possible. You don't want people taking from you. The thing I noticed is when I got unwell, people wanted to come and see me, but they were coming from a space of desperation and fear. And I started tuning into and absorbing that energy, and it felt crap. It felt awful, and it made me feel anxious and probably more frightened than I was before they walked in the room. And if they touched or hugged me, they were taking a hug. They weren't giving me a hug. So you need to be very careful about who you allow into your physical space and the types of touch you allow as well. The other thing that could get a bit tricky and scary is finances. Cancer's expensive. You know, getting sick is expensive, and we have our commitments just to be able to support and sustain ourselves. So wherever you're living, putting food on the table, paying bills, we need finances. Now, what you need to do is to minimize fear, you need to maximize facts. So get a pen and paper out and write down the exact amount of money you need per week to support yourself with the commitments that you have. And so once you've got that amount and you've achieved that amount each week, just let go. Stop freaking out about finances. Get the facts and deal with it. Don't think that you need more than what you need. You know, get the facts and know that you can handle your way through. And again, if you need help, ask for it, because people are more than willing to help you. The other thing I learned was a lot about trust. Now, when I talk about trust, I mean trust of and for yourself and your body. Your body never lies. We lie to ourselves. If people come in and say, how are you doing? And we go, yeah, fine. You know that's crap. They know it's crap. You know that they know it's crap. They know that you know that they know it's crap. Everyone's anxiety and blood pressure goes up because we're in dissonance. We have not told the truth. When it comes to trust, you need to trust yourself. If something doesn't feel right, it's because it's not right. Your body will never lie to you, right? So start tuning into that and trust the wisdom of your body. When it comes to things like adversity, challenges, disease, navigating your way out, you will have a lot of questions and you will ask a lot of questions. You must seek your own answers. If you speak to one expert, seek the advice of a second expert. And if you're still not sure, seek the advice of a third expert. But at the end of the day, choose according to what feels right for you. There is no one size fits all. There is no right and wrong. It's just what's right for you. And your body will tell you what's right for you, and you must trust that. If you're uncertain, you need to do more research. And remember that there is a lot of information out there, and a lot of information can be confusing and conflicting. So get clear about what's important to you and stay true to your own values. Regardless what everybody else's judgments and advice are, trust your instincts and go with what feels right for you. Another point I want to say is this, that when you learn things, as you overcome things, as you strengthen and gain greater wisdom, give, share, support, help other people. In discerning and learning for yourself, you now have a gift that you can offer others who are also in need, who may be in the same space that you've been in, and you know how frightening and scary and how uncertain that and lonely that place can be. Please offer the gifts of your strength and wisdom to other people who might be going through a similar journey, because it's in these circumstances of uncertainty and fear and adversity that we most need to connect in with our humanity, and to know that we are not alone, and to know that people care, and to know that other people have made it gives us genuine hope that maybe we can do it too. All right. And then the final thing I want to share with you that I've really learned through my experience with cancer is how important it is to keep your heart open and to remain grateful, to have an attitude of gratitude. The more grateful you are, the happier you feel. The more grateful you are, the more enough you are, the more enough life is, and we start to amplify the good. Because when something like adversity, challenge, fear, cancer, whatever it is, comes into play, it can get very scary and very negative. So when we can find something to be grateful for, even if it's thank you for another day, thank you for the gift of life, thank you for the love in my heart, thank you for my fierce will to live, whatever it is, the more you pay attention to it, you start to amplify and feed the goodness there. And sometimes that's what we need. We need to just lift ourselves up. So that attitude of gratitude can really help and support yourself through some really tough times. So was cancer something I'm grateful for? Gosh, that's a really tough question, because on one hand, I would say absolutely no. But actually, on another hand, I would not have learned the incredible rich gifts that I have acquired as a consequence of walking through that path. I found my voice. I learned to meditate. I learned to heal. I learned to speak up. I learned the power of boundaries. I learned to own myself. I learned to make my own decisions. I learned to deserve and take care of myself. And I learned that I am worthy and that I have something genuine to offer the world. And I want to teach, I want to serve, and I want to help heal. And I hope today has been helpful to you in some small way in your journey. I'd love to hear what you've gotten out of this webinar. I hope it's been helpful to you. What ideas have been helpful for you? What questions do you have that potentially I or the community can support you with? If you want more, please think about coming along to my final public workshop for the year on the 31st of August. It's all about building resilience for life and living a fearless life. And I'm going to show you how to separate from those troublesome, worrying thoughts that you have to always, no matter what's going on in your life, have a handle on your steering wheel and know exactly how to forge forward no matter what's going on, to maintain that fire, that strength, that hope, that resilience, no matter what. And I'm really, really passionate about it. I know how to do it, and I'm going to teach you how to do that. Everyone that comes along to the workshop will also get a copy of this book. I contributed a chapter which is called Conquering Fear, funnily enough. And so you'll learn even more strategies than what I shared with you today. I hope today has been empowering for you. I hope today has given you strength and hope for a better day, to know that yes, you can get through this, you can become a better version of yourself, you can be stronger and wiser. Take full charge of your life, take full charge of your journey, and I bid you well. Bye for now.